Shehu Sani wrote on Twitter, "It's unfortunate and tragic to read the New York Times report that the claim of Christian genocide was sourced from one Emeka, an Onitsha-based screwdriver trader and operator of a small NGO, who falsely claimed to have documented 125,000 Christian deaths using Google searches. How such an unverified claim could tense up the U.S. lawmakers, president, and the intelligence community that led to an airstrike is one of the most foolish and comical historical events in our lifetime. This is shameful."
Welcome, my people, for today's episode. Again, news maybe like I just see online. I think yesterday also that the United States acted as in the strike that happened. The strike that happened on the 25th of December 2025, which is last month here, that it was inspired or it was instigated by one screwdriver seller that is from the southeast. Is the one giving the United States information that made Donald Trump to launch the strike. And let's not forget so quickly, when that strike took place, there was a press release from Nigeria federal government, some spokesperson to the president, that it is the intelligence of Nigeria force and the rest that gave US the information to strike that particular state or that particular part of the state. And that's where the terrorists are hiding at the moment or planning to do something. Then all of a sudden, after they alleged that $9 million has been paid to a lobbying company in order for them to change narrative that Nigeria is no longer a country of particular concern because of the Christian genocide. Now, this screwdriver seller at Onitsha, that is the only person that gave the information. The US I have known and have studied for a very long time will not carry out any strike without their own diligent investigation. So don't tell me that it's the 9 million naira or the $9 million that is yet to be, because I heard that they have only paid 6 million. Don't tell me that is what is already working. This $9 million does it get power well? No. Screwdriver seller don't talk to the so. Guys, I know all of. I mean, make we hear wetin Rufai Oseni wan talk and Abati. This thing, this country too funny, abeg. It's too funny. I'm gonna watch the video now.
I think it's a hit job by New York Times, and it is sad that media is doing this in the world. And for New York Times to say that it was solely this man's opinion that made the call for Christian genocide rife in the country is falsehood. They say people quoted him, people like Ted Cruz and the likes quoted him and all of that. Yes, they might have quoted him, but to say it's solely his report that tipped the balance is false. So let me give you empirical facts. Bishop Winifred Aniegbe, Catholic Bishop of the Makati Diocese, on the 12th of March 2025, testified before the House of Foreign Subcommittee on Africa on religious persecution of Nigerians, describing attacks on Christians and displacement and church destruction, all right, and an Islamic agenda to control land. In November 2025, they returned to testify at another House Subcommittee on that matter. Reverend Remigus Ihula, Catholic Bishop of Makurdi, March 12, 2025, joined Bishop Aniegbe in the testimony before the House. Mushpa Ape, survivor of the June 2025 Yewata attack, also virtually testified. Benue testified between the House Foreign Subcommittee on Africa, which she emotionally recounted watching her 5 children slaughtered.
Several people have
So there have been several accounts. So for New York Times to hitch it on this story and say the screwdriver salesman was the one that write this, it's sort of like a hit job to me. And it even makes mockery of the American intelligence system. You get, if they say it is based on this. But I disagree with you, New York Times, as regards this case. And I've given empirical facts. And if there's more, yes, there's another guy called, I think Francis Paul. He too has been a regular person that testified. In fact, he's worked with many U.S. lawmakers. In fact, he used to hold a position in Benue State. There have been many, and I can cite many other sources.
And just quickly, of course, when we talk about the $9 million, we know it's $4.5 million deal that has been done for a 6-month period. People are touting it as $9 million because it has that extra 6-month potential. Yes, but that's the deal that people are referring to when they see articles such as this. Dr. Abati, your take on this?
Okay, no, with regard to the contract with DCI Group to prove that there's no Christian genocide in Nigeria. Yes, people said, well, maybe those lobbies are already working. That's why you are seeing this kind of story in the New York Times. However, I think for Mr. Ume Agbalasi, I think that's the name, to claim that, it was what you found on Google and also on social media. You see the damage that their social media will cause, is what the Americans acted upon. I think that in its first place is presumptuous, because the American intelligence system, they don't have only one source. There are multiple sources, and those sources will be evaluated, and then there will be investigation. So to say it's one screwdriver salesman who is now screwing down Nigeria, I think Nigeria should not allow itself to be screwed down in that manner. Now, against what has been reported by the New York Times, before now, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Nigeria, Yusuf Tuga, made it very clear that, look, it was the Nigerian government that provided intelligence to the American government, and that it was a collaborative effort, a point that was again, backed up by the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu. So how on earth did all that get reduced to the fact that it's one screwdriver man screwing things up and down that is responsible for the action? The other danger here is that it could cause problems between the North and the South.
Yeah.
Because now you say, let's put it where it is, Emeka Umeagbase, an Igbo man in Onitsha.
That's intentional.
So he's the one who has invited the United States to come and bomb people in Sokoto. That in itself is divisive. It's not the kind of narrative that should be promoted because of the implications. My third point is that the National Security Advisor, the DSS, the DMI, all the various agencies, whichever can move first, should invite that screwdriver man in Onitsha for questioning. So if he's so knowledgeable, he says he has a certificate in security studies, okay, maybe he knows other things that he can use to assist the Nigerian government. Because if indeed he's the one who communicated, that's an act of espionage against his own country, which could be interpreted as treasonable felony if he has information. The same Nigerian government that has been saying, to make Nigeria secure is a collaborative effort, and that citizens have a role to play. His first port of call should be the Nigerian government to say, this is what I know. So these are dimensions to it. But, in this age of,